welcome back to my channel. I did put a little question box on my Instagram asking you guys to ask me questions for a YouTube video, but I got way more questions than I expected, so I thought it might be a really good idea to start like a Q&A series type of thing if there is a lot that you guys are wanting to know. I've decided now I'm going to start doing Q&A Thursdays, so every Thursday I'm going to post a video of a Q&A answering all different questions that you guys have for me. Yeah, so I really hope that you guys will enjoy that. So if you did ask me a question on my Instagram and I don't get to it in this video, it will be in an upcoming video. It's just I can't fit them all into one. Okay, so I screenshot the questions because it was a few days ago. So the first question is, what are you studying in school? I'm not sure if this means like school or university, but either or. I'm not in school. I am also not in university. I did do a couple of TAFE courses for like fitness related things, but I'm not studying anything right now. Someone said places you want to travel. I would love to travel to New York. That's my biggest goal and dream. But I also want to go to all different places in America. I really want to go to Las Vegas. But yeah, honestly, if I was to sit here and list all the places I want to go, we'd be here forever because I pretty much want to travel everywhere, to be honest. Someone said, what are your goals for the future? What would you like to do? So I feel like I did answer this in my last Q&A video, but I'll just quickly say a couple things. I mean, I have so many goals, I don't even know where to begin. But my main goal is to have a house, have some dogs with Brayden, sausage dogs to be exact, a new car. But my long-term goal is just to be able to do social media related things. Also, I have something else that's in the works right now that I'm choosing not to talk about just yet, so that's another big one. Somebody said advice on comparing yourself to others, even to girls' pics your BF likes. So I know that a lot of people have this problem, especially, I don't know how old you are, but especially when like you're younger, it seems to be a more prevalent thing. But this question is kind of a tricky one because it gets to a point where it's like, if your boyfriend is, it depends like the pictures your boyfriend's liking of her. I know this isn't the question, but I'm kind of like, if it's like bikini photos or like anything where they're showing, I don't know. I just think personally, if your boyfriend is on Instagram like following those girls, looking at those type of pictures all the time, it's kind of like, I don't know, to me, if Brayden was constantly doing that, I'd be like, it's a bit weird. But just comparing yourself to other people in general, I mean, it takes time, but learning like that everybody's different, not everybody's perfect, and it's the whole thing of like what someone looks like in their pictures and on social media isn't the reality. And you know, they're probably just like you and me. They are just like you and me. Also though, like if it is just your boyfriend liking selfies or like now and then just liking a picture of a girl, like I'm not saying your boyfriend can't like pictures of girls, but like it's important to remember he's with you, you know what I mean? And if you've never had any problems with him cheating on you or messaging other girls, like then it's not something you need to worry about. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Someone said, what made you want to start YouTube and have you always been into fitness? I don't have a fitness, fitness is a huge passion of mine, but it's not like my job or anything. But I have been into like gym and things like that since I think I was 15 when I signed up for the gym the first time. But I've been into sports since since I could play sports. I've been right in there like playing everything that I possibly can, and I started my YouTube because I kind of always just really wanted to be honest. And it was actually Brayden that gave me the kick to do it because I kind of was worried like of how people would be and if I'd get bullied and like all this stuff, which I kind of did, but it passed. And you know, you're always gonna have people that are douchebags, but yeah, that's kind of why I started and it was the best thing I ever did. Someone said, how do you focus on your goals if you feel like you're missing out on your youth because of it? This is a very good question, especially when I was in my comp prep. I was pretty much prepping for like a year and I definitely missed out on things, and I also felt guilty for going to some things, like I shouldn't be doing it, and like it's hard, but also you have to remember whatever your, I mean, a comp is completely different, but whatever your goals are, like there's always ways you can work around them and find balance in your life. That's the most important thing. I don't think you should, you know, any of your fitness goals should be all or nothing, unless, you know, obviously if you're training for something or whatever, but you can still see results from having a balanced lifestyle. It doesn't need to be all or nothing, if that makes sense. But also, if it's other things that you feel like you're missing out on and you have to miss out on them because of your goals, like, good on you. Like, you're doing something that not a lot of people can do, and one day you will look back and you'll be like, I mean, don't miss out on everything, but certain things that you miss out on, like, you'll look back and be like, well, why did I miss out on it? I missed out on it because of this, and this got me closer to this, and you are where you are now because of that sacrifice. Somebody just said dogs or cats. I would say dogs, but also I love cats. I love all animals, but I definitely say dogs because honestly, my cat is kind of the devil, but I love him so much. Someone said, is it important to have a coach to see the best results? No, not at all. For some people, yes, because they need that sort of like push, but you definitely don't like need it. You don't, it's not all or nothing, if that makes sense. It definitely helps, but I've gotten to the point now where I'm like super happy with where I am. I have the knowledge now, which is what you also gain from having a coach. I definitely think it's good. Like, if you want more knowledge, if you want structure, if you don't really know what you're doing, then it's such a good idea. If you're someone who already pretty much has like a good idea of what to do, you can keep yourself accountable, then I wouldn't say that like everyone needs a coach. The next one was the best tips to stay consistent with training and nutrition. Having a goal is the biggest thing, I think. Without a goal, sticking to something is really difficult, and having a game plan. So a game plan and a goal is the main thing, and if that means sitting down and writing out everything you're going to do, or your little goals for your big goal, then I think that that is a really good idea. Somebody's just said, how do I love myself? I honestly think I want to make a whole video about just this question, but I mean, the most important thing is it's not going to happen overnight. And the second thing I would say is you're not always going to be 100% okay and happy and have no insecurities, and everything's not always going to be, you know, perfect. You're not going to always feel amazing. You're not going to feel completely positive. That's really important to remember. Sometimes where people go wrong, they're chasing this feeling of like, no matter what happens, I'm going to be constantly positive, constantly happy. It's not like, that's not going to happen. That's not realistic. Everyone has their down times. Everyone has their times where their insecurities get the best of them. I definitely want to do a whole video on that because it is tricky, but the biggest thing I would say, it takes time and it takes little steps every day of being kind to yourself and building habits. How did you learn to be so accepting? Your profile is just amazing. I love it all so much. Thank you so much. It's one of those things that happen over a long period of time, but then all of a sudden you kind of just realize and you're like, oh, you know what? Like, that thing that used to bother me or something that I was so insecure to show, I'm just not anymore. But also the thought of missing out on anything because I was too scared of the way I looked or the way my body looked in a certain light or at a certain angle, like, that just broke my heart, and I never ever want to look back and have regrets. And so that was a really big thing for me. It was kind of like, well, I'm either going to be happy with who I am, accept myself for who I am, grow as a person, or stay stuck in the same unhappy place. And I mean, which one sounds better to you? Somebody said, do you think you would be as body confident if you gained all the weight back that you've lost? That is a very good question, and I often wonder if people are thinking this, because I have, you know, I did put on that weight and I did lose it. I honestly think it's a really hard question to answer, and I don't know 100%. I don't know. I wouldn't know until I'm in that situation. I'm only going to be honest. That's the truth. But also, I don't think that I would get back to that spot. Like, I don't think I would ever gain the weight back because I have too much love, too much respect for myself that I don't think I'd do that to my body again. I'm not saying that if you put on weight means you have no self-respect. That's not at all. I mean, I put on that weight because I was binging. I was already felt shit about myself, so I was like, well, it can't get any worse. But now I've gotten to a place where I'm like, I'm so happy. I don't think I could ever go backwards that far again. But also, I think that my self-love also does come from what I've done for myself, which is lose a ton of weight. It wasn't even about the way I looked, to be completely honest. I just felt like absolute shit. I felt swollen. I felt gross, I didn't fit anything. Like, that was where it came from. It wasn't even just the way I look. I felt like, I don't know if anyone else understands this, if you gained weight really quickly, if you understand, but I just felt like I couldn't move the way that I was supposed to. And I know that probably sounds ridiculous, but that's the honest truth. When was the time you were the happiest moment in your life? Oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is really hard. This is hard because there's been so many over the years. Oh my god, I don't know. I don't think I can pinpoint a time. I mean, the happiest period of my life would definitely be now. I can't pinpoint, I can't choose a time. Things keep popping into my head and I'm like, that time. And I'm like, no. There's been a lot of times. I don't know, you guys. I don't know, I'd have to think about that more. I can't just pick one time. It's really sad because you can pinpoint like the saddest times, but you can't pinpoint like the very happiest. Time I really loved, which this is just like looking back, me just thinking of time, but when Brayden and I went to Melbourne, I just remember that being like, I was so happy. It was so much fun and everything was amazing, and I just remember being really, really happy at that time. That's so random, but that's what came to my mind. Someone said, would you ever try veganism? I mean, never say never, but I personally can't see myself doing that because it would just be so much more effort, if I'm being completely honest, for me to like switch my lifestyle in that way. And that probably sounds really close-minded, but I just think personally, probably not. I like meat. I like, you know, probably not. What type of friend do you consider yourself? I would consider myself the friend that you don't constantly talk to, but they will always be there for you, and a really loyal friend. That's, I think, like, just talking myself up here. I would honestly say that's my best quality. I will always be loyal to you. I'm like always cheering you on from the distance, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to message me every day. Like, if you don't respond to me in 5 minutes, I'm not gonna be pissed off at you. We don't have to see each other all the time, but like, I'll always be there, you know what I mean? That's how I'd probably consider myself. Toughest challenge you have faced? Wow, this is hard. Physically, like doing something, probably I did a canoeing trip for my Gold Duke of Edinburgh in school, and that was freaking tough. It was over like 4 days, and we had to put all of our stuff into one barrel. I'm talking barrel like this big, like put it into the canoe, and then say if we came to a part in the river that was like covered by there was like a tree trunks across, we'd have to take everything out of our canoe, get in the water, somehow lift our freaking canoes over the tree trunk that had fallen, get back in, soaking wet, everything, get back in and keep going, and then do it again and then keep going. And let me tell you, it was so bad, and I was so homesick, like, because we didn't see any other people. And then when we stopped off, like our campsites were in the center of the rivers, like they were just like little campsites, so we were all like, our tents were all touching, and we went to the toilet, you had to go like shit in the bush which I hated. Like, I honestly hated that so much because I have a big thing about like feeling clean, if that makes sense. So that was disgusting. That was just really hard mentally for me because I just felt, yeah, really homesick. Yeah, I don't know, that was hard. But the bike ride that we did for the one before that was my Silver Duke of Edinburgh. If you guys don't know what it is, just Google it, it's probably easier, but it was just like a school thing, and I did that, and that was like, I could be wrong, but I feel like it was like 300 to 350 kilometers bike ride, and it was like this. And I went the next year to help volunteer, and theirs was nothing compared to ours. I'm not even joking, but ours was literally like, there were hills. There was a hill that was like this. Like, I'm not joking. I don't even know how we freaking rode our bikes up it. And it was so tough. And I'm also so competitive. So like the whole time I was like, I gotta be at the front. Like, I've got to be the first girl to finish this. Like, it's happening. So I was like pushing myself like crazy. But that was more fun. That was just really hard. Yeah, obviously prepping for my comp was tricky. Somebody asked, do you see yourself having your own family in the near future, or will be quite a while? I don't want to have kids anytime soon. Brayden and I want to move out. We want to buy a house. We want to get sausage dogs, new cars. We want to travel as well before then, or at least travel to a couple places. I don't know, like I don't know exactly, but I probably will be like closer to 30 when I want to have kids. I'm not fussed about being like a young mum. I'd rather bring kids into the world when I know I'm 100% ready and can support them, if that makes sense. Somebody said, do you have any tips on how to lose weight? There was actually a lot of questions about weight loss and like what my biggest tip was. I'd mostly just say being in a caloric deficit is the main thing. And also just like staying active, but yeah, mostly being in a caloric deficit for sure. Somebody said, what's your next goal you want to achieve with your social media? Well, my big goal is to have 10k on Instagram and YouTube by the end of the year, so hopefully I can get that, at least on one of them. I really want to. That was my goal for this year. So that's like the hard thing though, like you can work, like right now I'm literally posting all the time, I'm active on everything, so like at this point it's kind of out of my control. All I can do is keep doing that, but yeah, that would be really awesome to get there. There's a really funny question that I'm gonna leave for the next video, so you'll have to come back and watch it, but it's actually hilarious. Somebody just said, how much does your weight normally fluctuate during your period or just in general? A lot. My weight fluctuates so much, and sometimes it's been pretty good lately, but sometimes my digestion is terrible. But like honestly, I would say 2 to 3 kilos, honestly, fluctuating, like mostly 2, but sometimes it can be 3 for sure, like, and that's for a couple days and then it will go back down. So yeah, definitely don't only use the scales to track your progress, because yeah. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you do subscribe if you did, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.